1. Joan R. Ginther. Joan R. Ginther is a resident of the USA with an unusual flair for winning lotteries. On 4 separate occasions between 1993 and 2010, she collected winnings in excess of $2 million in state lotteries, to a grand total of $20.4 million. Joan Ginther is an American 4-time lottery winner. She first won the lottery in 1993, when she won $5.4 million in the Lotto Texas. Her next win came in 2006, when she won $2 million in the Holiday Millionaire Scratch-Off. Her third win happened in 2008, when she won $3 million from a Millions and Millions ticket. In 2010, she won $10 million. Her largest prize yet, bringing her total winnings to $20.4 million. The odds of winning this many times are 1 in 18 septillions, 10 power 42. All of her winning tickets were purchased in Texas, and 2 of them were bought from the same convenience store in Bishop, Texas. She currently resides in Las Vegas, Nevada, and prefers to keep a low profile. 2. Bill Morgan. In 1999, 37-year-old Bill Morgan was a truck driver living in a travel trailer in Australia. That's when disaster struck while working. He got in a pretty bad accident that he nonetheless survived. However, medication he was given during his recovery resulted in him having an extreme allergic reaction that ultimately caused his heart to stop. After being clinically dead for 14 minutes, they were able to get his heart going again. Sometimes with that span, the person may have suffered brain damage and may even be essentially a vegetable, though there are many factors involved as to whether that will be the case. In Morgan's case, it at first looked like that might have happened. After they got his heart going again, he was comatose, and given how long he'd been clinically dead for, it was recommended twice that life support be removed and he be allowed to die. Nonetheless, after 12 days, he miraculously came out of his coma and was, shockingly, completely fine, suffering no apparent brain damage or other long-term problems from the event. Not being interested in driving truck anymore, he then found a different job, and as near-death experiences are wont to do, it made him reevaluate his life, including within a year making the decision to propose to Lisa Wells, his longtime girlfriend. She accepted. No doubt feeling pretty lucky not only to be alive but to have his girlfriend agree to marry him, he bought a scratch lottery ticket. The result? He won a car worth about $17,000 Australian, today about $23,903 US and $25,099 Australian. Normally winning a car isn't a big enough story to get the media to pay attention to you, but given that Morgan had recently been clinically dead for 14 minutes, the local Melbourne News decided to do a feature on him. In the process, they asked Morgan if he wouldn't mind buying another lotto ticket, and then scratching it off on camera for them, as a sort of reenactment of his winning scratch. He happily obliged. After scratching the ticket on camera, though, he stopped, looked at the camera, and rather than be excited and saying something like, "I just won a car," as part of the reenactment, he instead said, "I just won $250,000. I'm not joking. This was the jackpot for that particular scratch lotto. He was playing today about $369,102 Australian or $351,526 US. Needless to say, the reporters on scene got more than they bargained for during the reenactment, as did Morgan, who immediately called his fiancée to tell her the good news about his win, and that they would now be able to get a house. 3. Fidel Castro. The 13th of August 1926 to the 25th of November 2016 was a Cuban communist, revolutionary and politician who governed the Republic of Cuba as Prime Minister from 1959 to 1976, and then as President of the Council of State and Council of Ministers from 1976 to 2008. A Marxist-Leninist and Cuban nationalist, Castro also served as the first Secretary of the Communist Party of Cuba from 1961 until 2011. Under his administration, Cuba became a one-party communist state, while industry and business were nationalized, and state socialist policies were implemented throughout society. Born in Byron, Oriente as the son of a wealthy Spanish farmer, Castro adopted leftist anti-imperialist ideas while studying law at the University of Havana. After participating in rebellions against right-wing governments, in the Dominican Republic and Colombia, he planned the overthrow of Cuban President Fulgencio Batista, launching a failed attack on the Moncada barracks in 1953. After a year's imprisonment, Castro traveled to Mexico where he formed a revolutionary group. The 26th of July movement, with his brother Raúl Castro and Ernesto Che Guevara. Returning to Cuba, Castro took a key role in the Cuban Revolution, by leading the movement in a guerrilla war against Batista's forces, from the Sierra Maestra. After Batista's overthrow in 1959, Castro assumed military and political power as Cuba's prime minister. The United States came to oppose Castro's government and unsuccessfully attempted to remove him by assassination, economic blockade, and counter-revolution, including the Bay of Pigs invasion of 1961. Countering these threats, Castro aligned with the Soviet Union and allowed the Soviets to place nuclear weapons in Cuba, resulting in the Cuban Missile Crisis, a defining incident of the Cold War, in 1962. Fidel Castro is the only man in the world who became safe in 630 attacks in his life. In attacks on field, Castro's CIA is also involved but failed to kill him. 4. Concheta Antico. This woman sees 100 times more colors than the average person. A unique genetic mutation and a well-wired brain mean that Concheta Antico is like no other artist on Earth. To tetrachromatic artist Concheta Antico, the world is like a mosaic of color. When Concheta Antico looks at a leaf, she sees much more than just green. Around the edge all see orange or red or purple in the shadow. You might see dark green but all see violet, turquoise, blue, she said. It's like a mosaic of color. Antico doesn't just perceive these colors because she's an artist, who paints in the Impressionist style. She's also a tetrachromat, which means that she has more receptors in her eyes to absorb color. The difference lies in Antico's cones, structures in the eyes that are calibrated to absorb particular wavelengths of light, and transmit them to the brain. The average person has 3 cones, which enables him to see about 1 million colors. But Antico has 4 cones, so her eyes are capable of picking up dimensions and nuances of color. An estimated 100 million of them, that the average person cannot. It's shocking to me how little color people are seeing. She is the only girl in the world who is tetrachromatic. Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to subscribe us and press bell icon for latest updates.